What you're looking at is a completely abandoned church, built in 1549, with all its artworks and valuables still inside. Something we never thought we'd come across. We found it by accident while exploring other abandoned properties in an unsuspecting French town. It hasn't been in use for over half a century. A steady decline in practice, combined with serious structural issues, left the building unsafe. The municipality kept postponing repairs, and eventually it was locked up and left behind. Despite that, much of the interior remains intact. From ancient paintings to detailed sculptures, everything is left to rot away. The building blends elements of medieval design with later Gothic influences, arched windows, vaulted ceilings, and stonework that's both heavy and elegant at the same time. After our visit, we spoke with locals, and they told us that some renovation efforts may have finally begun, decades later. Let us take you inside this holy place, a church that, in our opinion, should have never been abandoned.
Hey there everybody, I'm coming out of a clock tower of a massive abandoned church today. Welcome back everybody to the Bros of Decay. I'm Leslie, behind the camera we got Luke.
Hey there.
And we are in a 500-year-old church today. Abandoned for 40 years right now. Just give the people a look of what we are seeing today. A church completely intact with all its artifacts, artworks, and everything that will belong to a church still inside of it. Even the chandeliers, the beautiful paintings, the statues, it's crazy. I don't even know how we found this place, but I think we got extremely lucky to be inside of here today. I want to take you all on a tour throughout it and let you see what something like this looks like. You ready for it, Luke?
I am ready. This place looks amazing.
Yeah, this is your first abandoned church ever, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. I must say I've never also filmed one of this magnitude before.
It's
so
massive.
Yeah. I guess we just start on the right side and just show you around. I mean, this is where you come into the church and give a little cross, do a little prayer, and the route of Jesus is already on display here. Oh, every single painting, canvas, still left in here. I hope one day they will repurpose this place, but until this point, it doesn't seem like it. There's uncountable amount of altars inside of this place with wonderful craftsmanship, molding, painting in the middle. Let's have a little look at it. That one is completely decaying. They should save it. They should take it out of here. No way. Look, also have a look at those stained glass windows here. It says Anno 1832 on the side there. Wow. A dog kennel? Why is that in here?
Oh, this is a dog kennel.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, or is it the nativity scene? The kerststal, you know, in Dutch, the nativity scene.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's probably.
for baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's even still some straw in there and everything. And there's a little window at the back. So it's definitely a nativity scene. Yeah, it must have been.
Kind of looks like a dog house.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry for saying that. All the benches and everything are also still in this place. And you can see that they put some beams of wood on top of there. So they're definitely doing some structural support in this place, but it's minimal work. It's just work to preserve it, not work to restore it. Okay, we're ending up at the Chapel of the Virgin of Maria here. This is the east wing of the church, and this one is first constructed in 1549. So first, this part of the church was constructed, and later on, the middle part towards the main altar was constructed, because 100 years after this place was built, the population of the town increased so much that they needed to expand the church, and that's what they did with it. They had a medieval Gothic style, and first they had the medieval style, and then they constructed the Gothic style and revamped the church and what we see today. I love how they did that. And it's noticeable in the church. Love the chandeliers as well. It's crazy that they're all still hanging in here. I was looking at this. I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit sick, but I was looking at this little marble plaque here. It says 1871. I'm not entirely sure what it says. Another one from Jesus' journey. Let's have a closer look at the east wing altar in here. All the statues and everything is just left behind in here for it to decay and crumble away. You're religious, right, Luke?
I am not religious, but I was brought up religious in school, but
Your parents were religious.
no, neither my grandma.
Your grandma? Oh.
Yeah.
So you've been to church a lot in your life?
No, I could count them on two hands, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I have been a bit more to church. My mother was religious. I wouldn't classify myself as religious nowadays, but I still really envy Christianity, and I think it's really beautiful what we built back in the time. Wow. You know what this coat hook was for?
No, a priest's robe maybe?
Yeah, so the cope of the priest would be hanging up here, so during the service you could put it on. All the molding, very Gothic, so beautiful with the gold, burnished gold on there. I love it. Another statue right over here. Okay. This one is also incredible. I think you should turn on the light because we're going to go in a very dark room right now.
Yes.
I don't know exactly how this room is called, but the room we are entering into right now was the place where everything for the service was stored, where the priest copes were put inside of, and there's still a couple of very interesting things if you come over, look over here. Inside here are those lamps with the gold flowers. Incredibly beautiful. I think they would put like candles and everything in here. They're most likely made of brass or copper. Looks like copper though. Wow. And also the vaulted ceiling in this room. I absolutely adore it. And behind you, look, that's something else. There's a wooden panel painting here of two saints, two religious people. Termites have worked on this panel, unfortunately. Very sad to see. Wonderful fireplace underneath it. Wow. Should we save these statues?
I wish we could.
I wish we could as well.
The church is actually made up of two separate structures, joined together over time. The original section, built during the Middle Ages, was later extended in 1724 due to population growth. This rare layout creates the impression of two churches merged into one. It's officially recognized as a historical monument, alongside other landmarks in the same town, like a second church that was built around the same era and is now undergoing restoration. Its layered architecture mirrors the story of the town itself, growing, evolving, and eventually left behind with the passing of time.
What a place. I adore it. Look, if you come down here, you can see On the side of this pillar, it says 19th of the 3rd of 1973. That's 57 years ago. And those dates are to indicate the cracks that are forming. And they're also placed up there. So you see the 12th and a little bit further, yeah, you see some different dates. But the people in here have been recording cracks in this church for more than 50 years. 52 years, exactly, not 57. We're now the year 2025 and still to this date, nothing has been done. Of course, it is very, very costly to restore a place like this. I get it, but this town is quite rich, so I just hoped that they would do something about it and possibly restore this place. So if somebody from the town is watching, please take some action. You can see here even a lot of plasterwork has been crumbling down on these benches. This is the stairway that goes up to the speaking booth. Later on I will show you the speaking booth itself. There's like I said before in the video, there's so many different alterns in this place. This you normally only see in massive churches like this. And this looks like a medieval altar. This has been standing here forever. Even the moss has been growing on top of here over the many years. But standing here. Wow. Some more statues around it. Every time I go to a new city, my main thing to do is always to visit the church. And this is no exception, except for it being abandoned. That stained glass window has seen better days. Yeah. Wow. Even this altar, look at the beautiful woodwork. Looks like a mahogany or oak wood. No, this looks like oak wood. But again, a paneling in there. But this is painted on a canvas. The canvas is even ripping down here. The colors are fading. Sad reality.
And the woodwork is just as pretty as the painting.
Yeah, wait till you see the other altars. They're even more incredible. Huh. And back here, we got another wonderful painting of Jesus being crucified. It's even slashed up there. No way. Okay. We are at number 8 of the way of Jesus, hanging all throughout this church. Oh, look at this. Oh,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And for a pilgrim, I would walk through the streets with these big banners. We place this back very carefully, because this is most likely a priceless piece. And here we have another lovely altar, and I really adore this one for the woodwork. This is so detailed. Let's have a closer look at the woodwork in this one. You can literally see the grapes hanging from here. We are in the Champagne region of France, and yeah, that's very obvious that they would decorate it like that. Beautiful grapes, I see a crow, and then a wonderful, wonderful painting in the middle of here. What an altar. It's crazy how a society spends so much money on religion. Something, yeah, it's difficult to fathom, like the scale and complexity of these buildings that they built back in the time. There's even a couple of pieces lying here on the ground. The head of an angel.
Well, where did that came from?
I think it all fell down from the side
right
here.
It's like the right panel.
Yeah.
Like that.
But you can see back in the time, this altar was standing here, but because this fell down, you can see the previous paintings on the back. This is how it used to look like.
Oh.
So they first painted this, and maybe a few hundred years later, they put this altar in. But yeah, maybe because back in the time they didn't have the skill to craft something like this, they would all paint it like that. And have a look at the altar we have over here. A little gate. that opens up. Oh, not a squeaky gate. Come inside. I think this must be one of my favorite altarns in this entire place, especially because it's made out of stone, of that pedestal with the big statue on top there, completely covered in burnished gold, and everything around it painting. Look at the ceiling as well, like, that's some geometry. And then the 3 statues on the other side. Wow. One is even holding a weapon on his side, a sword. Oh, Maria as well. Absolutely beautiful. But this breaks my heart that the paint is chipping off.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh, I want to show you, before we do that side of the church, behind the main chapel. So this is a place of the church that you would normally never see. But here we come behind the main chapel. You can see the enormous complexity of the construction of this place. This church doesn't have an organ. It's quite strange. All the windows around it. I believe this has been changed over time. Maybe back in the time the altar would be standing back here. And then they built this one here. Yeah, later on, maybe in the 1800s. More artifacts of the church lying here. What's this little door for? Oh, nothing. I was looking in the door here.
Oh.
But it's just a little storage cabinet. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the front. What a beauty I'm standing in front of. Look at this masterpiece. It doesn't even look like it's been reconstructed back over time. The massive painting in the front there. This is the main altar of the church, where the priest would pray and speak for his people. 2 enormous angels at the top, statues and decorations everywhere, and everything carved with care and precision. I hope that the wine of the priest is still in here. No, only a dirty handkerchief.
Yeah.
Oh, there's even some marble on the sides here. Yeah. I don't want to stand here for too long because everything is literally covered in bird shit.
Yeah.
But oh, so beautiful this piece is. You can look at it for hours. Also love those 2 statues on the side. It looks more like an entrance to a sort of Italian palace.
Yeah. Like an entrance into the painting.
Yeah, that's a good one. And on this side of the main altar, we got a, similar to the other one, altar standing here, completely made out of oak wood. But unfortunately, this one lost its painting. It's been ripped out or it's fallen out, but it used to be inside of there. Yeah. You should all see this for yourself. You will be blown away. Look, there's even more dates up there.
Yeah, I just noticed.
15-3, and yeah, they're all placed on the crack.
73.
So that crack has been there for 50 years. How is that possible?
Yeah.
How is that not even gone further? Strange. More statues everywhere. We see this one. I love it. Is this made out of marble? Watch out, the floor is bending here.
Yeah.
Wow, no, that's just plasterwork. Looks incredible as well. And in the corner of the room, On this side, moss has been forming. Gives it a very spooky and eerie feeling. But I think one of the saddest parts of all in this church is by far the stud work that they had to put in place here. Scaffolding has been put here, and this scaffolding itself already looks decades old. They designed it to hold up the arches of the church for it not to collapse, because if this church would collapse, that would be a big disaster for this town.
Yeah.
They're just doing. Okay. Gonna go underneath here, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Luke is very, very tall, so.
That's okay.
Yes. And then, oh, this one is also really beautiful. It's like a marble book that we have over here. We'll go back to the scaffolding in a moment. Yeah, marble book with some dates and some people that died for France, it says on the side. Honor for these people. Sort of a memory. Yeah. It's probably people in town that perished, that died for their country. Before I tell you more about the scaffolding, have a look at the speaking booth. You can stay here, Luke. I'm gonna see if I can get into it. How do I look?
Well, hold on. Yeah, this looks holy.
Yeah. So here the priest would be standing, praying over his people, saying his verses from the Bible. Oh, this is such a beautifully designed praying booth. I'm not going to stay in here for too long because I feel it's quite unstable and I don't want to further destroy it in any single way. Oh, wow.
I always wanted to do that.
Yeah. You want to do it as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I will show some more details while you go in. I just wanted to show you down here. It looks like it's a sort of cloth or a piece of fabric, but it's actually made out of wood. The detailing on here is incredible. And there comes Luke into the speaking booth.
This does look very unstable.
Yeah, it's a bit unstable, yeah. You have to be careful. But you look incredible in there. Oh, the statue on top, unfortunately, is falling as well. Okay, see you in a moment. And then we come to the right section of the church. Yeah, now you can see it clearly. These beams have been put here to do something, maybe to do some extra restoration works, but I'm not sure. Hopefully. I cannot move them. How we get through? I think underneath.
Also just. Okay, you do that.
Luke takes the easy route. Okay. So this was also part of the original church. And you can see it from the walls a little bit that this is a little bit simpler, a little bit more medieval, this side of the church. And this is from 1549. I love the eagle that they placed here in the middle. He's stepping into the red fall.
The viewers don't know that.
The viewers don't know exactly. Now they know. The eagle on the ball here, on the golden ball, dating back from 1800. And then at the back, we have the massive, massive painting, Jesus Christ being crucifixed. Wow.
Crucified?
Crucified. Yeah.
Right?
Crucifix is what we see up there. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a big chunk out of there.
Yeah. How does that even happen?
Yeah. And why specifically that part?
Maybe it was his head or something. Maybe somebody wanted it.
Oh.
If this falls over, I think we die.
Yeah, this looks pretty heavy.
Yeah. Wow. 1834. This is some sort of a tomb from a gravestone.
Yeah.
Somebody's buried here. And here you can see even more of that scaffolding going on.
Almost looks like some sort of an Escher painting.
Yeah, exactly. I can see where they are working on it right now. Come have a look over here, look. I think they're doing some work on the ceiling here. They have put in new beams, so they're working on this a little bit, or they're trying to work on this a little bit. Yeah, interesting. But now, it's time for us to do something incredible. Because that door I came out in the beginning of the video, that's the entrance to the tower of the church. And now we'll attempt to climb it. It's going to be interesting. Let's have a look. Be very careful with these first couple of steps. Oh, I see that nobody was safe of Corona. These first couple of steps are very, very unstable. Oh, okay, let's go up very carefully into the tower of this place. Here we're coming to the upper part, look. Oh my god, this is heavy. Oh wow. Here you can see the dome of the church. One of the first domes. Oh, the upper rooms. Can you hold this for a second? You think you're probably gonna call me crazy for doing this? Okay, I think it's not movable anymore, but point the camera down this hole. That is the inside of the church.
Ah.
And if you open up this hole, you can literally look into the church. But I don't think we should stand on here for too long.
Nope.
Because this is probably not very stable.
Nope.
Okay, let's go further because I saw that the stairway was over here. And they say that arches are the most stable form of construction. But I don't believe it seen from this church.
No.
There's a lot of pigeons flying around in here. They're probably going to be a little bit mad for us going into that tower. Look, we made it.
It's a pretty heavy climb.
There's pigeons everywhere. Oh. Oh. It's also very cold today in France. It's -3 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit easier to climb, I think.
That's it?
Yeah, I think it cools down the body.
Yeah, true.
Okay, up here we can see the massive bells that unfortunately don't ring anymore nowadays. There's the mechanism back there. Is this safe to walk?
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell, yeah.
Oh, no, those planks are like...
Oh my gosh. If you give me the camera, I will have a look. Watch out. Oh my god, look at this mechanism in here. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay. Gotta give this back to you. I don't want to stay for too long up here. But I really, really loved this exploration. And I want to thank you all for coming with us. Thank Luke behind the camera. Another beautiful church documented. And we'll see another, guys, in another week, in another adventure. See, I'm tired. Bye bye, love you.